Hi, my name is Deschenes, and I'm a second-year PhD student here at Oakland University. And my advisor is Dr. Pandey. And today I'm going to present to you the subject of our current research we're working on. And my teammate is Caitlin Fritz. She's also a student at Oakland and master degree. So our subject here is effective design team composition using cognitive response model. So the reason why we came up with this, so this subject kind of encompasses a lot of field, including design, engineering, decision analysis, human factor, cognitive, and this subject is also spoke in many of the conferences that you can see if you do some research. So it's a subject more and more popular, as we know that organizations always trend to find the best way or the leaner way to be efficient with their workforce, including to have design activity and problem solving with some teams. So what we did is at first we start to look at the literature. So as you can see out here, there's many fields, like I said, that's touching this subject, including psychology, neuroscience, of course, human factor, manpower, organizational, and a new term here that you can see, teamology. So what we did is we kind of brainstormed around the subject and came up with some questions to help us figure out our hypothesis, like, will people from different backgrounds have different cognitive response from a common design task? Do people with different cognitive response work better together? Does a design team benefit by consisting of people with complementary cognitive maps or assets? So after many of those discussions, we came up with the hypothesis like this. Number one, do complementary cognitive assets enhance team effectiveness in the process of design? Number two, are particular brainwave frequencies indicative of unique design perception, allowing one to evaluate these cognitive assets? And finally, is a brain-computer interface using EEG technology would be capable of identifying the proper brainwave inherent to design? So we tried to represent more simply what is the process of design we're talking about here. So I really like this Dr. Whitfield trilogy on the subject, where she talked about inspiration, ideation, and implementation of a certain design or problem solving. So our research is focused more on ideation process. So as you can see here, when you look in the literature and process for ideation, there's many ways to express, or many steps that you can find in the subject. So I retained this specific one from Dr. Amabile. Again, it's a simple trilogy that kind of highlight what are the most important phase around the term creativity. Why creativity? Creativity is the one asset that's going to be the most prevalent amongst the other when you talk about design, conception, and problem solving. So also this guided us to define and find the attribute that we're going to look into details during our research. Here I'm talking about creative thinking skill, motivation, and expertise. These are three categories related to team activity. So when I talk about technical knowledge, she used the term expertise. It's really related to the technical aptitude, the attention of detail. Is the person experienced or not in regards of the activity? And drive, we call it drive, that's in view of the motivation, is as a team itself. We talk about speed, openness, adaptability, positive mindset, innovation, and focus. And the third one, cognitive diversity. This is where we found the asset of creativity, originality, diverse background, cooperation, and communication. So then, the way we're going to do this is, of course, right now we're looking at having 9 persons that we're going to individually do an evaluation in regards of these attributes I just mentioned. And then with this, we're going to organize the team in 3. So three team of 3 with different balance of these assets, and we're going to see the performance in regards of a design situation. In order to help us capture what's going on in their mind, this is where we're going to use what we call a EEG device. Here is the emotive brand, and it's very simple to use, and it's going to capture, once we put that on the head, in 14 sensor, what is going on in the brain during the specific activity that we're going to have them perform. So here again in more detail, this device, what it does, it's 14 channel, wireless, and it's with the computer. It's going to pull the data from the brain activity using electrical wave signal. Okay, and again, this is very easy and simple to use. Once, what is not so easy will be the interpretation of those brain waves. So here, just to give you a few ideas of what we're talking about, the brain generates gamma, beta, alpha, theta, and delta waves. The one we're more concerned with is the gamma wave, because that's the one responsible for creativity, for emotion, and feeling or blessing in an individual during a brain activity. This relationship towards your activity and the brain wave, this is all defined in the science. So once we do our experiment, what's going to be generated is something that looks like this, and then we will capture it through a software to make the correlation and identify the coherence during the activity. Here you have as many waves as we have as 14 sensor. Now, with this, we're going to do a kind of a decision analysis pattern as far as what's going on through the teams and towards the performance of doing a design activity. We can see how did they work out together and everything pertaining to complementarity as far as the assets that we identified earlier. In conclusion, like I said, this is a very early stage of this project, and we're still working to finesse our hypothesis and also the plan and how to understand, to interpret the brainwave. So it's a growing activity, but I can say that this project, again, fits very well with the class of decision analysis, something that at first we did not know as much as we had some relationship with this, but yes, there is. And then it's a very exciting project because, again, it's also taking care of many assets around engineering, design, decision analysis, and human factor. So if you're more interested to learn about this, you can contact me to this email address. So I thank you very much for your attention, and bye-bye.